The top 5 decliners were cargo handlers, down 10.52%, and JMMB Group's 10% preference shares, down 10%. Woodcats International declined by 8.77%. Sagicor Select Funds Financial shed 8.70%, while QWI Investments eased 8.22%. In the USD market, the U.S. equities index advanced by 3.76 points, or 1.19%, to close at 319.53 points. Volume reached 674,631 units, valued at US $64,196.53. Overseas, Wall Street recorded the Dow Jones Industrial Average added 160.24 points, or 0.30%, to close at 53,577.40 points. The S&P 500 advanced by 24.42 points, or 0.32%, to close at 7,677.28 points. The Nasdaq Composite gained 171.11 points, or 0.66%, to close at 26,151.30 points. In Europe, the FTSE 100 climbed 31.84 points, or 0.29%, to close at 10,886.16 points. The DAX added 159.54 points, or 0.61%, to close at 26,266.14 points. And the CAC 40 declined by 13.81 points, or 0.16%, to close at 8,439.20 points. Across Asia, the Nikkei 225 declined by 283.08 points, or 0.43%, to close at 65,573.35 points. The Hang Seng closed at 25,511.10 points. The Shanghai Composite closed at 3,889.44. Commodities delivered the sharpest moves. Brent crude declined by US $2.71, or 2.95%, to US $89.20 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate shed US $2.65, or 3.03%, to US $84.80 a barrel. Gold climbed by US $5.20, or 0.11%, to US $4,655,000.20 an ounce. And that's a wrap for your market snapshot. Just a reminder, be sure to consult a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Ahead on Let's Talk Stocks, we'll be joined by economist Kinan Faltner, who will be sharing insights on Jamaica's economic growth, inflation, and what the appointment of the Bank of Jamaica's new governor, Dr. Brian Langren, could mean for the direction of monetary policy.
Caribbean flavors and fragrances. We started out as a small family-owned business, and now we're a part on the stock exchange. Allow us a certain prestige. It also speaks to accountability and transparency. We had some fears about getting our information in the public domain, but once we contacted the Jamaica Stock Exchange, who have the knowledge and the experience to guide us, we were comfortable. If you have any doubts about being listed, just give the Jamaica Stock Exchange a call. They'll be very happy to take you through the process and also provide you with information that you may need. Make that call now.
This project marks the celebration of our 30th Hall of Fame, aims to highlight the achievements, challenges, and invaluable lessons of those who have shaped and are shaping the future of our economy. Our aim is to celebrate the voices and stories of 30 remarkable leaders in Jamaica's private sector. Join us as we explore these narratives of resilience, leadership, and vision.
We get the big contract. 50,000 units a month for 3 years. Great. Won't need help.
If you are a business owner that requires capital for the expansion of your business, talk to a registered broker today to find out more about listing your company on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, an efficient alternative to other financing options.
Thank God for the Jamaica Stock Exchange junior market.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange, providing a fair, efficient, and transparent stock market.
Wealth is not simply counted in dollars or cents, but in the time we spend with love, in love, giving love. Wealth is not simply a means to an end. It is the means to live out loud. Wealth is more than money. It's about family, the memories you create, the legacy you leave behind, and your ability to enjoy life in the moment. It's also about seeing the QMAX possibilities and seizing investment opportunities to achieve the future you want and deserve. Which is why QMAX Wealth will focus on your investments so you can experience more. Because true wealth is truly more. To start investing today, call 876-926-7767.
Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited has been a part of Jamaica's manufacturing landscape for over 20 years. By crafting unique flavors and fragrances, we have become a part of your favorite household and food items such as beverages, ice cream, household cleaners, and much more. Known throughout the Caribbean for the highest quality, we continue to innovate with strong leadership, a dedicated team with integrity. We go the extra mile for our customers. Create the next taste sensation. Contact us at 876-9235-111 or visit our website, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn pages.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Stocks. I'm Giselle Mills. Jamaica's economic outlook remains a key focus for investors, businesses, and consumers alike, with new leadership now in place at the Bank of Jamaica under Governor Dr. Brian Langren, economic growth showing signs of moderation, and inflation continuing to influence policy decisions. Many are watching closely to see what lies ahead. To help us unpack these developments and what they could mean for the economy and the investment landscape, we're joined by economist Keenan Faltner. Keenan, welcome to Let's Talk Stocks.
Thanks for having me, Giselle.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm well, and you?
I'm well. Pleased to have you here. All right, so we're starting with the big picture, Keenan. Jamaica has a new governor, Dr. Brian Langren. He's at the Bank of Jamaica. What does Brian Langren's appointment mean for the direction of monetary policy?
I think it signals continuity in the current management of monetary policy, and that it sends a signal to the financial markets and the wider financial sector that the current trajectory of entrenching and maintaining price stability will be maintained. So, given his experience at the Bank of Jamaica, he was one of the chief architects of the Financial Stability Department. He would have that very intimate knowledge of regulation of the sector. And of course, being a central banker, that's 5 jobs in one. You have to be a policymaker, you have to be a banker, you have to also be a regulator. Mm-hmm. And I think he brings that skill set. Of course, it is also burnished by his reputation in Washington with the multilateral financial institutions. So I think his appointment does inspire confidence that the mandate of the central bank, which is to maintain price stability, will be kept.
All right, so we'll get further into that a little later. Data from Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin released earlier this year shows that Jamaica's economy contracted by 4.1% in the first quarter of 2026. A less severe decline than earlier preliminary estimates from the Planning Institute of Jamaica, we know them as the PIOJ, as suggested. How concerned should we be about that combination?
Well, it's shaping up to be a sort of stagflationary period in the immediate or the medium term. So we know at least for the rest of this year, growth is going to still be negative. It will not return to positive growth until maybe early 2020, passage of Hurricane Melissa. So we have more persons in the employed labor force now than we did prior to the storm, more than 1.4 million people. And I think that has also helped to staunch some of the fallout because the employment profile could have been much worse, and 11 to 13% initially. The initial decline in the first quarter from October to December was 7.5%. And I think that had a knock-on effect on the subsequent quarters where each of them now is less than it was predicted initially.
All right. We know that the word recession, when people hear it, it's alarming. So that's why I'm making, in case, our viewers are watching, those with little knowledge or those who are trying to catch on with what we're discussing, that they're not alarmed, that they're not sending a frenzy that, oh my God, Jamaica is in a recession. So we're between, just for clarification, so we're between the line of recession and recovery. So we're in that small space.
Yes, I think that might be an appropriate way to describe it.
Yes.
If you don't want to stick to the pure technical definition, because at the same time, there has been some signs of recovery. Real output in the last quarter compared against the one before it is increasing. The rate at about 158, 159. And I think because that has sort of insulated us a little bit and limited the effect of the pass-through of international prices, that the Bank of Jamaica has not raised interest rates too quickly. Because remember, interest rate increases are reduced, but you don't want to be too hasty when you can wait and see a little bit.
All right. We often hear about the BOJ policy rate, but how does a decision on that rate actually affect the average Jamaican from mortgages and loans to savings?
So remember, that rate is really also called the signal rate. So it provides a signal magnitude that you want monetary policy to go. Are you raising them? Are you lowering them? And by how much? Are you doing it gradually and gently, or are you doing it aggressively? So that is supposed to help provide the signal to the rest of the commercial banking sector, the rest of the financial sector. So for right now, it's 5.5. What that means will in turn charge you higher than that in order to sort of offset that rate when they deposit at the central bank overnight. So it's not so much that the relationship is one-to-one. There are other factors that militate against the effective monetary transmission mechanism, which I think the new governor will have to prioritize. Things are sort of half and half. They're within his control. Sometimes it requires moral suasion, but you can also maybe legislate it. The former governor, Richard Biles, had hinted at using legislation to help sort of make the pass-through effect a little bit more efficient. But there are some things that are really not within, for example, the asset tax, the very heavy concentration of banks. The BOJ has tried now with this eKYC platform to sort of help reduce the informational asymmetry so that you can have more information in the market. Everybody knows the interest rates offered by everybody else, so they can switch.
So what's the word? It's good to have a little bit of discretion because not everything is based on BOJ per se.
Yes.
So they go with a thing that they have to follow, different policy, different decisions that all adds up to a decision.
And remember, each institution has their own perception of credit risk. Clients have their own perception of their credit history and how well their own credit worthiness that they can sort of leverage with financial institutions. So it's not a case where if the BOJ decreases rates that you simultaneously do it in lockstep, in tandem with them, or vice versa. It really depends on your individual relationship with the bank. Maybe you can get a better deal sometimes. However, that said, there's always a saying in finance that interest rates sort of take the elevator to go up and they take the stairs to come back down.
Okay, a good exercise. For investors watching this environment, what does the combination of slower growth and elevated inflation mean for their investment decisions? Because I know that some people are on their seats now.
Yeah,
The edge of the seats.
Yeah, I think the outlook really is uncertain. But as best as possible, the government has tried to maintain a certain level of fiscal sustainability, which is supposed to provide that policy signal, both on the fiscal and the monetary side, to ensure that the investment space remains sound. You don't want a case where there is sort of deterioration in each of them. So it's about sending the right signals. I'm sure the business community in particular are anxiously waiting for interest rates to come down, because they've had to deal with that for quite some time, especially in the financial sector, where margins have been thin a little bit and liquidity is very tight. You are now hoping that there will be some amount of relief, but with each successive inflationary shock, that becomes less likely. So it has really weighed on corporate profitability over the last few years and navigating this difficult macroeconomic space. But that said, that doesn't mean there may not be opportunities. I think, in different sectors, the financial sector, especially the manufacturing and distribution sector, will be eagerly waiting to hear from the new governor and the upcoming budget in about 6 months' time. And, I think we are navigating a period now and trying to maneuver a little bit of uncertainty. And we won't start to see, I think, the light at the end of the tunnel until maybe late next year.
All right. So speaking of interest rates coming down, a possibility, just per se, if interest rates eventually come down, which sectors or types of investments could potentially benefit from this?
Well, I know definitely the financial sector. Like I said, manufacturing, distribution, those already have to deal with the highest cost of energy. You don't want simultaneously, to be higher cost financing that is more than it needs to be. So I would probably say most of the real sector will benefit from a reduction in interest rates, or at the very least delaying rate increases for as long as the Bank of Jamaica possibly can. And right now, that is going to have to be the main target, because even, in the money markets right now, you realize that there was a bond that was floated and it was not taken up. Usually it would be oversubscribed. It seems that many investors are looking at the shorter end of the curve. As the inflation risk continues to materialize and it pushes bond yields higher, you might find that investors are not going to be willing to take on that risk. But it's for the government also to maintain its present fiscal stance, where debt is going to come down continuously and sustainably. And but we haven't spoken about reconstruction. So all the risks that I have just mentioned a while ago that are weighing on the economy must now be counterbalanced by the pace and the scale of reconstruction, because that is where the growth is going to come from. So there ought to be opportunities in construction, for example, right now in this post-hurricane, post-Melissa economic recovery, because that is what the government needs to do. It needs to stimulate an in post-disaster investment boom. And right now, any further delay in that is going to weigh on confidence.
Okay. So when you look at Jamaica right now, Kenan, new BOJ leadership, slower economic growth, and inflation still a concern. Should investors be cautious, or are there opportunities in the uncertainty?
I think the average investor might just look at the fact that the economy generally has remained stable. So one of the legacies, I think, of Governor Biles' tenure is the fact that foreign reserves were tripled, and there had been no achievement of sustainability in the island's current accounts. So we didn't have that for a very long time. So that provides external buffers. Debt is not yet even at 70% despite the magnitude of this shock. Unemployment has held up, and inflation continues to be managed very carefully. So those are the parameters and the economic fundamentals that need to be maintained that tells investors, look, despite this huge disruption, there is still some amount of stability that you can work with. Credit rating agencies maintained the outlook at either stable or positive, and maintained the credit ratings that they had prior to the storm, which does provide some good amount of signals going forward. So I think investors maybe can be confident that the outlook is a slightly balanced. I would say it's balanced.
All right.
It's not either skewed totally to the upside and it's not skewed totally to the downside.
So there's a balance and there's light ahead of the tunnel.
In about maybe 9 to 12 months.
9 to 12 months. All right. Thank you, Kenan, for joining us this morning. We appreciate you here
Thank you
at
so much.
CBX and Jamaica Stock Exchange. With new leadership at the Bank of Jamaica, evolving economic conditions and inflation still on the radar, the months ahead will be closely watched by investors, businesses, and policymakers alike. That was the perspective of economist Kenan Falconer on what these developments could mean for Jamaicans and the wider investment landscape. Stay with us. Let's Talk Stocks returns right after this break.
In today's world, attention is valuable, visibility matters, and powerful storytelling can shape influence, build brands, and drive connections. This is CBX, a dynamic media and production division of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. CBX helps businesses, institutions, and leaders connect with audiences in powerful ways. From real-time market updates to live streaming, digital campaigns, executive features, social media management, and large-scale social projects, CBX delivers content with purpose, precision, and impact. We create moments that inform, experiences that engage, and content that moves audiences across platforms and across the region. Whether on screen, online, in studio, or on location, CBX helps businesses amplify their voice and elevate their presence. Powered by creativity, strategy, technology, and execution, CBX brings together media production, digital storytelling, and communications expertise under one integrated network. CBX, creating content, driving conversations, elevating businesses. CBX, your vision, your business, your source.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Stocks. I'm Druselle Mills. In this final interview segment, we revisit the Small Business Association of Jamaica's Growth and Resilience Conference, where we spoke with author, culturist, and thought leader Rosemary Doth about her journey, her life's work, and her fascinating mission to help people find peace and meaning in their final moments. Let's take a look.
Rosemary Roth is here with us today. She is author and culturist. How are you doing today?
It's a wonderful day. Awesome to be at this Small Business Association.
Love it. All right. You're an author, pastor, educator, and community advocate. That's just broad of things.
The shoulder strong, you hold plenty.
And I'm pretty sure there are a few that we have been missing. But my question to you is, have these different roles shaped your approach to leadership? And what advice would you give entrepreneurs at the SBAJ conference about leading with purpose?
Well, it's very important to know your calling. And once you have that passion, you live it to the fullest. And while you're exercising that leadership quality, always bring someone along with you and share your expertise so your legacy will continue.
Lovely. One of the unique areas you teach is end-of-life planning. Now, this was very shocking to me. Why is it important for business owners and entrepreneurs to think about legacy, succession, and planning for the future, not just building a successful business?
Well, the Bible told us that it's appointed unto man once to die. So we are gonna die. That's one thing that's guaranteed, okay? So you live with a purpose to share your knowledge, to gain knowledge, and as you gain it, you will have to leave it behind. You cannot take it with you. So therefore, I'm here to teach people to live to the fullest and be able to leave a legacy behind, because we're here to build so others can succeed what we have built.
That's an interesting take.
Have you ever heard about a banana tree and the banana sucker?
No,
Each time the banana tree bears the berries and we cut that down, there's a banana sucker coming up, and that's called a pup. So once that mom is gone, the pup comes up and exercise the next generation.
So I get what you're saying.
Yes.
So in order for one to live, one has to.
Yes.
All right.
Right.
You have dedicated much of your life to serving others and helping people prepare for life's most difficult moments. When people think about success, they often focus on wealth or business growth. How do you define a meaningful legacy?
Service. At the end of the day, I might have 5 or 6 different titles: pastor, author, mother. But when I die, God will say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord." So I'll be considered a servant, so I love to serve.
All right. As a culturist, this is my final question to you.
Yes, ma'am.
As a culturist, how do you keep the culture alive?
Jamaica has the most interesting culture I have ever experienced. Everybody is a meteorologist, everybody is a doctor, everybody is a under the tree auto mechanic. Oh my goodness, a little bone in it. Mind yourself. There's rock stone at bottom of river, and no sun hot up at top. Mind yourself. There's always something there. So I love to maintain the culture of Jamaica and the proverbs and how we are to live, because there's a lot of truth to it.
All right. And the statement that you mentioned, I realized that it is the title of your book. Little bone in the mind
yourself. Yes. Life is never straight. Watch out. Something will go wrong. And if you're prepared for that little incident, you'll be all right.
Thank you so much, Ms. Roth. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me.
This brings us to the end of the show. Thanks for watching Let's Talk Stocks. I'm Drissel Mills, and I'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. here on CBX.
We get the big contract. 50,000 units a month for 3 years. Great. Won't need help.
If you are a business owner that requires capital for the expansion of your business, talk to a registered broker today to find out more about listing your company on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, an efficient alternative to other financing options.
Thank God for the Jamaica Stock Exchange junior market.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange, providing a fair, efficient, and transparent stock market.